Life has a way of wrapping joy and sorrow in the same breath. As the story of James, Too Deep, and Little Nee unfolds, their newfound happiness is quickly tested, not by lack of love, but by the storms of responsibility, betrayal, and fear. What seemed like a perfect picture of family bliss soon becomes a battlefield where trust, courage, and resilience determine whether they will rise together or falter apart. The delicate bloom of a new family, the house of Too Deep, was alive with laughter. Nee, now officially her daughter, ran through the yard with innocent delight, her tiny steps lighting up even the grayest afternoons. For James, once defined by the weight of corporate leadership, these quiet hours were a revelation. Here, he was not a CEO negotiating deals, he was a man learning to live, to love, to belong. But happiness rarely arrives alone. Behind the gentle smiles, shadows began to gather. James's company, the empire he had built on ambition and resolve, was under silent attack. Partnerships unraveled, contracts dissolved, and whispers of scandal poisoned his reputation. And every new problem threatened not just his business, but the fragile peace of his home. Cracks in the armor. Too Deep saw it first. James's late nights, his heavy shoulders, his silence at the dinner table, it all spoke of burdens too great to hide. One evening, after putting Nee to bed, she found him sitting on the veranda, staring into the distance. "Are you pulling away from me, James?" she asked softly. He sighed, gripping her hand. "No, Deep. I'm afraid. The company is in crisis. And I don't want this darkness to touch you, or Nee." It was a painful confession. But Deep's reply was steady, unshaken. "You don't have to be strong alone. We are three now. Nee trusts us. And we must trust each other." Her words became an anchor. For James, who had always carried burdens alone, this was a new way of living, strength shared, not hoarded. The first test arrives at their door. The very next morning, their fears materialized. A group of angry workers gathered outside their home, demanding answers for a cancelled project. Voices clashed, accusations flew. Inside, Nee cried in fear. James stepped forward to face the crowd, but Deep instinctively ran to their daughter, holding her tight. For the first time, Nee saw her new father surrounded by shouts and threats, his heroic image shaken. "Will Papa come back?" she whispered. "Don't be afraid," Deep murmured, stroking her hair. Yet in her heart, the same question echoed. Could James bear the weight of both his company and his family? The fragility of happiness. That night, Nee nestled between them, afraid of being left alone. James whispered, voice tight with regret. I thought when I gave you the land, when we secured the adoption, everything was complete. But real happiness, it must be cared for every day. And I fear I may fail as a father. Diep rested her head on his shoulder. Happiness is never complete, James. There will always be challenges. But they show us whether we are worthy of love. For the first time, James saw that Diep's strength was not in wealth or status, but in her unyielding courage to love even in hardship. At that moment, he resolved to fight, not just for his business, but for the family he had found. Promises made, promises tested, days grew heavier. Each phone call brought new losses. Investors pulling out, contracts suspended, rumors spreading in the press. The man once admired for his firmness now faced public doubt. One morning, Ni tugged at his sleeve. Papa, will you still have time to play with me? Her innocence pierced him like an arrow. Kneeling, he promised, I will always have time for you, my little one. Yet Diep, watching quietly, warned him. Don't make promises you cannot keep. Ni has already lost so much. She needs to believe you won't abandon her. That day, James made a drastic decision, cutting wasteful deals, confronting shadowy rivals, and risking his empire to save what truly mattered. A return to what is real. That night, exhausted, James returned home to a scene of pure simplicity. Diep stirred soup in the kitchen while Ni helped with her toy knife, giggling as she chopped imaginary vegetables. James paused at the doorway. This, he realized, was his true wealth. Later, under a starlit sky, he told Diep, I don't know how long it will take to save the company. But if I have you and Ni, I can face anything. I will not let business destroy the family we are building. Diep's eyes brimmed with tears. Happiness doesn't need to be perfect, James. Only true. A child's definition of family. Weeks passed. One afternoon, James came home early to find Ni drawing in the yard. On paper, 3 figures held hands. A man in a suit, a woman in a simple dress, and a smiling girl between them. Above it, scrawled in crooked letters, "My family." James's eyes stung. Can I keep this drawing? He asked. No, Papa, Ni giggled. It goes on our wall, so everyone will know we are a real family. Diep overheard and stood in silence, heart swelling. The nights of loneliness, the fears of failure, all of it was worth this single moment of certainty. Enemies at the gate, but peace was fragile. One morning, reporters swarmed outside their home, hurling sharp questions about James's collapsing business. Ni hid behind Diep, terrified. As James calmed the press, his eyes burned with anger. Someone was orchestrating this. Someone wanted not just his company, but his family destroyed. That night, Nee crept into bed between them. "Mama, Papa, will you stay with me forever?" she whispered. "For always," James vowed, embracing her. And in that silence, the three of them, fragile but unbreakable, clung to each other. The threat in the shadows. Rain lashed the windows the night James found an envelope at their doorstep. Inside, "Your family won't save you this time." The blood drained from his face. He hid it from Diep, forcing a smile. But she noticed his distraction, his distant gaze at dinner. Even Nee sensed it. "Papa, don't you like my soup anymore?" she asked, offering her toy meal. James gathered her in his arms. "I love everything you make, my little doctor. You are my best medicine." Diep, silent, knew he was hiding something. And soon, the truth would surface, facing fear together. The next evening, after Nee fell asleep, Diep confronted him. "You can't hide this anymore, James. Someone is trying to destroy you. But it isn't you against the world, it's us. All three of us." For the first time, James let the fear show. He spoke of the letter, the broken contracts, the feeling of being hunted. "I'm not only afraid of losing the company, Diep. I'm afraid of losing you. Of losing Nee." She cupped his face, steady and resolute. "You will not lose us. Happiness is never complete, James, but love is what keeps us standing." "If they try to break us, we will fight together." Outside, the rain pounded on the windows. Inside, wrapped in each other's arms, they discovered a deeper truth. The first test of their family had begun, and their survival would depend not on perfection, but on unity.